So I'll be talking about a little abstract, generic topic of why multi-product startup is important, and then we'll quickly jump on to how of Bureau's experience of building a multi-product start from day one has been, what trade-offs we as technologists should consider, and what has been our learnings, right? And how platform, which is where the entire product offering comes together, has evolved and changed, and how does it stand in the days of company where you have multiple products from day one. So um, quick 30 seconds, we are identity decisioning platform. We've verified 450 million plus identities globally, 400 million plus commerce protected. With that context, come to the um, topic, right? General consensus knowledge across the industry or across the ecosystem is stay focused. Startups die because of indigestion, not because of starvation. That's the consensus. That's the regular guidance. But as we are in this phase, this current era, what is happening is you take InfoSec, you take fraud prevention, several streams, multiple SaaS are resulting in several integrations to customer, and then even the growth opportunity within one vertical gets limited, and then siloed solutions, right? In case of fraud, again, fraud can happen throughout the journey. I'll show you how at Bureau we solve it. If you have the fraud or even InfoSec violation, that can happen throughout the project lifecycle, or that can happen throughout the customer journey. Integrating multiple vendors, building multiple data silos is becoming larger and larger problem for medium to large scale enterprises. And beyond the point, building a differentiator, building a depth is hard, plus you're also prone to disruptions like we were just chatting in lunch, like how Slack got disrupted, how Stack Overflow, for example, got disrupted by ChatGPT, right? When you have single product, you're prone to disruption. There is a limit there is a ceiling of how far you can grow. So it's not our introduction, but this is by Rippling CEO. It's called Compound Startup. Basically, what it means is to solve some use cases, it's relevant. There's never one size fits all, but it is relevant in many use cases to build multiple product start from day one, right? Why? Because it solves the same problem that I was describing. That is, you are deeply integrated throughout the journey. Customer journey, if you take example in any SaaS company of your merchants, onboarding, pre-onboarding, onboarding, during the transaction, throughout the life cycle of a customer, your solution is deeply integrated, and the functionalities are shared, and the user experience is uniform. That means whether for merchants, amount of migration they have to do, how much support bandwidth they would need, all of this becomes pre-packaged, and there is clear focus of one company which is that I'm working with throughout the life cycle of a customer for this use case, that is fraud prevention, or even the InfoSec example that was quoted before, right? So these use cases where you are solving merchants' problem, just not one step, but throughout the life cycle of their customers, it becomes extremely important that you build a multi-product startup from day one. And then bundled pricing and commercials, it's an additional add-on, and it gets you the larger moat in GTM. So this compound starting, you should look it up, and Parker Conrad, Rippling CEOs, is one of the biggest advocate for it, and Rippling has been very successful. Again, HR is a journey where if you think about payroll, onboarding, employee benefits, exit, all of that is a employee journey, and Rippling has built entire product suite to solve all the problems. So what they've been able to do is all-in-one HR platform to manage payroll, HR, IT spend in one place. That means deep integrations again. You have one vendor to work with, which will give you solve the entire problem. seamless user experience, and single source of truth, right? The data silos we have been hearing for a long time, but it continues to get more and more created because the more vendors, the more SaaS providers, the more siloed solutions you have, all of them are going to create siloed data sets. So merchants, large enterprises, medium scale enterprises are looking to consolidate these data silos all the time. So with that context, why in our case, building a unified platform made sense, right? So this is what I was talking about, a typical consumer journey. There is a pre-registration, there is an onboarding, and then you sign up, and then you log in, you do certain transactions, you do transfer some money, or you do some e-commerce transactions, and then you keep on engaging with that merchant, right? So a lot of the fraud can happen in throughout the journey of these 5 steps of a customer journey. There could be a credit skinning problem that you might claim to be a different individual than who you are. You could claim that in doc verification you can have identity forging. In the area of AI, this has become extremely simple to forge an identity, to steal somebody's identity and do an identity theft. And then during, again, login authentication, there could be a bot attack. There can several frauds. Throughout, basically, the message that I'm trying to take home is throughout the journey, frauds can happen. And then because we have been able to go with the approach of multi-product from day one, we have, for all the 5 steps, either we have our own in-house solution or we have a partner. All of this is powered through Bureau decisioning platform. So our vendors or our merchants have single API to integrate, right? Or 2 APIs to integrate at max, or single SDKs to integrate. All of this is unified, and again, going back to the problem of data silos, multiple integration, all of that gets solved. With this context, while it looks right, while it sounds right to say, build a platform which can bring all together, be multi-product from day one, what did we learn, right? And what were the trade-offs we had to consider? And how does this platform look? Platform is a word which is going on forever. How is the platform changed? How does this platform would look for a SaaS company? And then what did we learn and what trade-offs did we consider? That's what I'm here to talk about. So, of course, the morale behind platform is not I want everything, but I do want to talk about quickly how the platforms have evolved. So traditionally, platforms meant I need to log, I need to send data to data warehouse, I need to do observability, right? At certain scale, you abstracted all of this out and put it in a code base, and there are few engineers managing that based on the scale. That was called a platform. So it improved developer productivity, it improved developers' life easy. Clearly, you would build at once. There was code would be reused across the product lines. So all of that was solved. So basically, you are solving for faster iteration, faster feature development, and developer seamless experience. But the platform was sitting at the back, right? It was never customer facing. Platform was sitting at the back. Always there was a question on how much to invest. Is it giving us ROI? Because developer productivity is a hard metric to measure. Again, build at once is a hard metric to measure. It sounds right, but it was hard to put an ROI, right? Our approach, or modern SaaS approach, has been the way we envision when you have a multi-product company from day one, you build a platform which aligns with product vision. That means, in our case, you have platform which can integrate all the solutions that you're serving your customers throughout their journey. In the platform, it all comes together. So the product vision, if you're saying we're solving the fraud problem in pre-onboarding, onboarding, during transaction, how can your merchants come and experience and explore that entire suite at once? It does all the things that previous platforms were supposed to do. That it does abstract out your repeat boilerplate code, it repeat functionalities. All of that was solved, plus it has its own voice. It has its own experience to offer to merchants. If merchants or your customers want to come and explore how Bureau's product offerings are, the person can come in, sign up, and explore different products, build a workflow, see how all of them work together, and a single API to integrate with their offerings. All of this is explorable through the platform, right? And then on top of it, because you're able to provide, whether it is analytics, automation of all your product offerings, it is monetizable. So this platform, from traditional back-end, just engineer-focused, where your customers are internal, has moved towards your customers are external customers. You are just not building it for internal automation. You are building a user experience where you speak the language of all products coming together, right? That's the shift. So as we went through of building of journey of our platform, what trade-offs would you consider? So the new org or the structure of the new organization clearly looks, there is a product engineering team, there's a platform engineering team, right? Constantly. So now when you build a feature, I'll go through the trade-offs. There's always constant tussle of what to build where, how to build where, who to put where. So there's always this constant trade-off. I'm going to walk through, and as I said in the beginning of the topic, this is more of a Q&A. There's no one right answer, one size fits all. But I'm going to walk you through what did we learn, what were our trade-offs. So basically platformizing decisions, right? Don't platformize everything. If you have a feature, just because it's technically complex to build for a product engineering team, it should not come to a platform. See the repeatability, see the value it would offer by offering through the platform. Does it enable the customer to come and experience your product offering in a different way? Does it solve the problem of repeatability? Unless that is solved, you don't. Traditionally, a technically complex problem, there is an infrastructure problem or a complex technical problem would automatically go to platform. But this is shift. Do not judge by technical complexity, by repeatability. Does it help your merchants to experience, stitch together all the product that you would have in your kitty, right? Collaborations patterns. So all the time, whenever platform team builds a new feature, or a product engineering team wants a new feature in platform, vice versa, how do developers interact, right? These three are standard methodologies used, and even at Amazon, there is a famous concept of away team, where with the core principle that whenever a guest comes to your home, the trusted belief is guest would never leave back the home in a bad state than it is. So you would treat your developers would come and do code commit to your code base as guests, right? In the similar concept, there are three ways we have sort of looking at this problem. One is you file a ticket, which is traditional, and then forget, or work with that team to build that feature in the platform. Or tour of duty, embedding engineers, vice versa. A platform has built a feature, you want that product to adopt it. A platform engineer will go get embedded. This has worked well for us, where we have multiple products and a single platform. A platform engineer would go sprint by sprint to a different product team and would make sure the platform feature that was built is embedded in individual products. Same thing has happened vice versa, where a product team has a very strong context of a platform feature, came with the platform team, build their sprints, and solve the platform's problem, right? And the third one is internal open source, this is what away team, a lot of the large enterprises follow, which is the ideal state to reach. But this needs a stronger test suite, anybody to come and change your code base, stronger coding guidelines. All of that is in place. This is a North Star for you to reach. But we are somewhere in between. Tour of duty has significantly helped. But as you scale, as you have multiple engineers, you'll have constant tussle of, hey, I need this feature, this team is not moving, that team is not able to prioritize, or there is a certain product priority, product team is not able to platformize. So then you end up with two different teams, which either product team not using the platform features or vice versa. So separation of concerns, clearly what features should be in platform versus what should be in the product, right? Um, so first important thing is cross-cutting concerns. Anything which is cross-cutting across products is very clear. And then, as I said, assessing the impact is critical. Does it help tell the story of your entire product offering to your customers in a better way? If the answer is yes, then you go back and prioritize that feature to be built in platform. So use case driven, this I was briefing even in the previous slide about technical complexity. Know-how should not just drive it, but it should be more on the use case. So separation of concern, major theme is it a cross-cutting concern? And look at, are you able to tell the story of different products together to your merchants? So the last piece is investment and team structure. There's always a constant battle of how much engineers, how much investment to make when you hit probably 20 plus or 20 plus developers. How much should you invest in this platform, right? And what level of skills and experience is needed? Generally, platform teams have more ambiguity because one, though you have a customer facing part of it where customers come and experience the product, the depth of the product is not generally known to developers. So we all know when the developers can't see through, their ability to design, their ability to forecast all goes away, right? So the ambiguity in platform engineering team is very, very high. So in any startup where your platform engineers need to be at least senior enough, right? At least 4 to 6 years plus. You need a good mix, but platform team would have definitely higher experienced engineers than a product engineers. And then that's of course dealt with ambiguity. And investment consideration, I mean, this is a little bit of rabbit hole topic, but how do you measure the ROI, right? Is always a question for a platform team. One, there is no straight away to measure. If platform features are clearly monetizable, like in our case it is, you can build a workflow, come and on Bureau's platform, you can stitch together all the Bureau's product offering and unify it and use it. So it's clearly monetizable feature. So there is a clear value proposition, so it's much easier. That's one. If in case that monetization is not there, the assessing the impact and the ROI of platform is always challenging. And I don't have a strong answer, but there's also a piece of enterprise value, which means are you able to tell your stakeholders the story better, right? Does it take up your enterprise value because you're able to offer 5 to 6 different solutions through your own product, through your partners, you're able to tell the story better? Does it help you take your enterprise value better? I think combination of direct revenue, does it help you increase the enterprise value and by how much, has been the two factor which I think is closest to assessing the impact. Remaining, I think there is enough feedback from the teams which, that is product teams, individual product managers of the product teams generally are your best judge to figure out if the platform teams are working. Yeah, so what have been our learnings as we go through and build our platforms, right? So one is, as I mentioned, success measurement and revenue attribution. Success measuring is extremely hard because there's all the time you're not attributing a direct revenue. So you build features, you have brought them together, and there is a certain customer experience. There is clearly customers come and experience the demos, they stitch together solutions, they look at the dashboard, they look at the analytics, all of this exists, but there is no clear revenue attribution. So we struggled initially when our platform features were not monetizable to measure the success. And if you need to make, traditionally platform teams have least customer obsession. In medium to large companies, as it grows, their customer obsession is low because there is a product team which sits on top and interacts with the customer, right? Hey, there's a feature request. Platform team is always going to ask, how are you not able to have the foresight? We just built a design is tightly coupled that it cannot adopt this change. Always constant tussle between platform team and product team because platform teams are traditionally considered low customer obsession. So you will have to bring certain revenue focus in the platform team, that is by A, bringing platform features directly monetizing and attributing certain revenue goals of product teams to platform teams so that they can work together. This is easier said than done because the agility iteration on which platform teams operate, even at large scale companies, have been purely basis of how much they understand a customer pain. And a platform team which does not understand direct customer pain, direct customer problems, can create bureaucracy a lot internally. So you can't move fast. Core backend, core system is with platform team, but the agility is not there. It can create big problems. So when you have product team and a platform team, make sure platform team is never this core backend team, but have a customer interaction plus a certain strong revenue focus. I'm sure this would have been discussed a lot between enterprise, SMB. The asks are quite different. We built a simple workflow builder, and one of the enterprise customer immediately asked, it was just for exploration, hey, I don't want to use this tool unless you enable a 2FA, right? We were shocked because this was a demo tool. So any platform that you build for customer side, if you are for medium or enterprise customers, please treat InfoSec, security, compliance features strongly because the asks are way different, and especially in platforms, it can change the roadmap significantly. And importance of front end, as we started, we also started with the mindset that platform is heavy backend, it's all automation, it's all tech investment, but over time, we realized the amount of front end needed was way, way, way higher than we had projected. So major reason for that is because, as I said, we pivoted to make the platform stand on its own. This is where, like Bureau today offers a graph network of entire identities that we have verified. So there, these are all graph, whether it is graph, whether it is demo of a certain feature, or stitching together workflow. These are all experienced by our customers through the platform. So front-end bandwidth and the amount of engineers needed took way more time than what we had imagined. Build once myth. So generally, this is one, all of us engineers have this bias that build once, reuse multiple times. So it's, while it's right in practice, right in theory, when you build platform, in case of Bureau, we have APIs which or microservices which can be as latent as very low single-digit milliseconds to completely async, or where there are multiple retries to asynchronous integration. So the width of products that we support is extremely high. So if you go with the approach of build once and you get stuck in this analysis paralysis, you can really get lost. So our learnings has been, do not do build once. It's fine to replicate, have multiple code path for your products, but do not get into this analysis paralysis of building once at the platform layer. Diverse non-functional requirements. I spoke about front end and how do you stitch workflows. When you have multiple products, even if you take just APIs, if you're building a solution which resells several APIs, right? The APIs could be of, as I said, few milliseconds latency to completely asynchronous, which can take seconds based on the use case. So when you build a platform, it's extremely important. If you're stitching together a workflow or if you're stitching together API, how do you make sure you build those flexibility of both? You don't add latency, which is as a platform layer to the core product, you want to be adding less than a millisecond latency. But at the same time, you don't want to be making it so tight that you don't have the flexibility that you don't serve the ad hoc or completely async product offering. Yeah, I think those were our major trade-offs, learnings, and our evolution of platform. So our learnings have been, one, make sure platform is customer-facing, revenue-focused, think of how can you monetize features of the platform itself. But biggest learning has been generally as a technologist, we are averse to taking multiple parallel paths from day one. But it's been extremely beneficial for us because our merchants appreciate us for two things. One, they come to us and they forget the fraud problem. We can help them throughout the journey. It doesn't mean you have to have a solution for every step. You could have partnership, but you need to have the offering, complete offering. That's one. And then second is all of this comes together in a certain, when you have 10 different products or 6 different products, when you go to a customer, they would need an interface, one, both experience and understand the usage of all the products coming together. So these have been our learnings. Thank you. Open to questions. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, thank you very much for this session. I think many software startups, they start with one product, but eventually when they see a lot of opportunities, they start building multiple products and they face a lot of challenges. But you have summarized, and I think this is a very valuable session for many startups who will look forward to build multiple products. So one question I have is, each and every product may be in a different life cycle and may adapt different technologies. So how do you strike a balance in bringing a consolidation within an organization? Because if at the end of the day, your advisors, like when we build a platform kind of when we build a platform and then that platform has got multiple products, you need to consolidate the technologies as well, right? But
Yeah.
some products, they might demand different technologies, and how to handle that?
Yeah, I think there are two phases, right? Two parts of that question. Very good question. One is, that's why I think I'm trying to put the seed about, it's quite natural for us to not think platform initially, right? Over time, it's a natural evolution. But that's where you land into this problem where you evolved multiple technology stack. My biggest takeaway is when we have different product offering and there are different technology stacks, but you're solving one customer's use case, you're going to face this problem eventually with the customer as well. When you have a different stack or your different experience, products are not talking to each other, you will also have this challenge with the customer. So this in fact acts as a binding force, right, internally, checkpoint, one. Second, that's where the platform migration piece comes in. You should start treating platform as your first customer when you build a product, right? And all the time we are building constantly new products, but every products are complete, considered to be launched, only they are able to integrate with the platform, which is what our customers see. So technology stack underneath could be different, but of course there has to be some commonality. It cannot be completely different cloud to on-prem to all of that, but at least choice of programming language, choice of application, choice of frameworks, all of that could be different. But this is an interface. You don't have to completely embed, but you should start treating this like one of your customer. So product features or products when they get launched first, platform is your first customer. And at Bureau, we already serve these 5 products. When you launch a 6th one, it should solve the theme that we already have, which is fraud prevention, right, throughout the customer journey. So I'm sure this is for any of the company which is trying a new product in the same space. This is your first customer who already uses 5 of your already products. So you're trying to upsell the 6th one. That is a checkpoint. So it, in fact, even helps for you to make sure your solutions aren't completely disjointed when you go in front of customers. Any other questions? All right, thank you.